Hey guys, I'm Michael Allen.
And I'm D'Angelo with TravelCostaRicaNow.com.
Guys, in a few minutes we're going to be talking to our friend Sue. We've talked to her before. You can go here to see that video as an interview. She's been here 13 years. She's a painter. She's painted a lot of stuff. We'll pop up some pictures here. But we're going to tell you her story in the last 2 weeks. Preface it, she has no money.
She has no money. She's what you would call a starving artist. She goes around and paints for her living.
She has no insurance.
No insurance.
And she's not a resident here.
She's not a resident here in Costa Rica, and she ended up falling and getting hurt, kind of fracturing a hip, needing some surgery.
But she trips and falls. She decides, like a lot of us do, since she doesn't have money or insurance, that she's going to go do the corner.
She's going to wait it out and hope it gets better, give it a couple of days.
Well, as you can see by these pictures, she couldn't move. She was laying, she was...
scooting around. She just couldn't get up off the floor. Her freaking knee, hip was...
But she didn't know it at the time, so on the 5th day she decided, yes, I need to go to a clinic to get an x-ray. Now, interesting side story. D'Angelo actually took her there, and he took a Spanish-speaking Tico friend to do all the talking at first. When they told him the price of the x-ray, they thought it was a Tico.
That's true. We went to the clinic here, a private clinic in La Fortuna, so they gave us a quote for a doctor's visit and an x-ray. And then they found out that it was a tourist, and they gave us a whole totally different price and said that it is different for tourists than it is
added $30, I think.
Yeah.
So what was like a $60 thing became a $100 thing. So
we asked why. She just shrugged her shoulders and said that's what it is.
Gringo pricing is real. Anyway, she has to go about an hour away at another hospital called Ciudad Quesada. It is an emergency now.
It is an emergency. She has no money, so they kind of sort of have to do it here in Costa Rica. They gotta make sure, just maintain it so it's not so much of an emergency, which is the ordeal she went through.
So they ship her to San Jose. She has surgery.
Which is a 2-hour ambulance ride. So already an hour to the next city that I had to take her, and then another 2 hours ambulance ride the next day to San Jose where she can have the surgery.
Right, so after that, she's back in Ciudad Quesada.
They release her 2 days later.
We pick
her up.
We pick her up 15 minutes out of La Fortuna. She happens to move wrong.
And her whole implant just
She starts screaming.
Out.
We know there's a problem. We take her back to the clinic. And here's a couple little video. They were so scared of her screaming, they wanted us to take her back to the hospital because she was screaming. She couldn't get in position.
They wouldn't do the x-ray at the clinic. The only reason we stopped there, they just threw her back in the ambulance and drove her to the Ciudad Quesada an hour away.
And then she ends up back in San Jose for a second surgery. That happens. All this is happening within a 12-day period. This is very fast.
Less than 12 days, but
I think because she has no money. We're going to talk to her in a minute and talk to her about her experiences. But that's kind of the lay of the land in the last 12 days. Ciudad Quesada, San Jose, back to Ciudad Quesada, Fortuna, Ciudad Quesada, San Jose,
back and forth.
Anyway, guys, here's Sue. So Sue, we told them everything that happened. And now we're going to talk to Sue about her experiences with what we just explained to them. Your whole process in the last 2 weeks. First, I want to tell everybody where we're at because I think it's important because these people are good people.
We're really good people.
We are in La Fortuna. We're kind of across from the Alamo Car Rental, Lava Lounge, in a hotel called La Amistad. And the reason I want to plug them is because they've been nice enough to kind of let you recuperate here.
Right.
Kind of, I don't want to say free of charge because you do paint for them.
I do paint for them for years, but yeah.
But kind of. I mean, they're helping you.
Well, I've got a security guard at night. I've got someone taking care of me. I can't walk, and this family is one of the most loyal, honest families. And when they found out I was hurt, they're like, "Come here, we'll make sure you're taken care of."
So we want to give a shout out to La Amistad.
Yes.
So if you need a place to stay when you're Fortuna,
Perfect.
Kind of a reasonable rate, we're going to go ahead and
very
plug
secure,
them.
very secure.
All right, let's get to the thing of hand. So it's been about approximately 12 days since what we just explained to you has happened. This has happened fast. Really.
Seems like it's been a year.
Sue's recuperating. I think she's got another 7 days?
7 days or so.
With a pillow between her legs.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be a triangle. There's supposed to be a triangle thing.
V formation.
But they don't have anything that they're supposed to have in the hospital. So I just made my own triangle. That's it.
Okay, let's start kind of from the beginning. Not at the where you got the X-ray, but did you know it was bad right when you fell?
Oh yeah, I've never felt that pain before. There was a pain that was new, and I've known pain, and I knew when I first went down, and I was trying to make coffee. And when my shoe caught under the oven or the grill, yeah, the pain was extreme. And then we tried to move me, and then it was even more extreme.
So what made you, I know the answer to this question, or I think I do. What made you wait 5 days to go to get an x-ray?
Well, I just felt that maybe it was bruised, or maybe I pulled, and I'd never had a fractured hip before with a thigh bone pushed into my pelvis, so I've never had that before. And I thought maybe this will just go away.
See, because I was, when you did this, when you were kind of laying there in the apartment before this whole process started, I was kind of thinking to myself, this could be me. Mm-hmm. And I would do the same thing. I would go in a corner like a dog and try to heal.
Yeah, this
because A, I don't have insurance. B, I don't really have money to really pay anybody. So I'm just kind of crossing my fingers and hoping I'm going to heal in a timely manner.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you kind of was thinking the same.
And had it just been like a fracture, I mean, it might have been okay, but the way that it fractured, it shoved the hip bone up, so my one leg was shorter than the other, and my hip was up to the right when we saw the x-rays. I wouldn't even look at the x-rays until we got to the hospital, the second hospital, because they told me it was bad, and I didn't want to see them. But yeah, so I just thought it was going to be better, and I was painting, so I could paint the mural and keep my mind going on that. And
so basically, on the fifth day, by the fifth day, you kind of knew that this was.
Well, we got a walker for me, so I got up off the floor because I was flat on the floor and painting, but we got a walker for me, and then so when I started putting pressure on the leg, that pain that night was excruciating, and you
didn't know you overdid it until you already overdid it.
I didn't know that the hip was in that much distress, and I had a lot of people talking to me, and they're saying it's very dangerous, and the doctor said that so much blood was going into my lungs that I could have popped something or whatever, aneurysm, what all that stuff is, but luckily it didn't happen because I was just under the best care.
Okay, I want to talk about your experiences. You were basically in 2 hospitals, one in Ciudad Quesada, which is about an hour away, and then you were also in San Jose for the surgeries, which was Hotel Mexico.
Yeah.
Hospital
Mexico.
Yeah, well, yeah. Where
my Spanish is spot on.
Mexicano in Mexico. Yeah.
So I want to talk about what were the good points? What did you go? Wow, man! This is Costa Rica. I'm kind of supposed to be in this developing country. What were the good things about
the doctors? The real doctors were the good points. My 2 surgeons, the one that put in the implant and the prosthesis was a woman, and you don't see them very often because they just come flying through, take you to, and then they never see you again. You never see them again. They just come in. And then the second operation I had was another woman named Amy. She looked all like 14 years old, with the long hair and everything. And so that was really cool to have 2 women operating on
the doctors
in a country.
The doctors seemed professional.
Oh, totally. The doctors were amazing. The doctors were amazing, and the doctors at Ciudad Quesada were also amazing. So the doctors were really good. But I'm sure that's you don't get them very much. Everybody else is taking care of you, and you get the nurses, the head nurses, all the other nurses under the nurses, and then when you finally get to see a doctor, it's like maybe once every 3 days.
Like anywhere, you see they waltz in and they waltz out,
and that's it. Yeah, that's it.
So anyway, Sue spent most of her time in San Jose, waiting for surgery, having surgery. Ciudad Quesada was kind of the
in between time,
the docking point.
Yeah, it was almost like 50-50. It was 50-50 because I spent 3 days in Ciudad Quesada waiting for a bed to open in the hospital in Mexico. And then I got to Mexico and I spent 3 days of horrible days with their healthcare system with the nurses was a nightmare.
Okay, first of all, Hotel Mexico, if you don't know, is
hospital.
Like I say, hotel?
Yes.
Why do I keep saying that?
Because it's like an American Horror Story, and so that's why. But I mean, but just like the hotel part, And,
Sorry, Hospital Mexico is kind of their Caja hospital, their socialized medicine hospital.
Right.
It's not. I'm not saying that the doctors aren't good. I'm not saying, but they get all the people that are on socialized medicine. There's waiting lists to have surgeries. People are out in the hallway. You can explain this.
Yeah, I mean, one time I laid on, I was supposed to be taken by an ambulance, but this was also both places. So I was on 7 different ambulances because I had to be kept straight. But one time they were ready for an ambulance to come for me, and it took 2 days. And I was laying by the exit door. I was already checked out to be taken on an ambulance to another hospital, and I was laying by the ambulance door for 2 days waiting for an ambulance going that direction.
Yeah, but they were caring for you while you were sitting
Yes, they
there,
were,
right?
because they were nice. This was Ciudad Quesada. They were nice, and I'd already made kind of friends with them, and the doctor, one of the doctors is one of my friends, and so I was really taken very good care of in Ciudad Quesada. A lot of people say that it's the opposite, but no, I was really treated very warmly in Ciudad Quesada.
Okay, let's get to Mexico. What were your views on that hotel hospital?
Oh, it was horrible. It was just horrible.
Not the surgery,
The surgery part was fine.
the other things.
The nurses were out of probably 30 nurses, there were 2 that had some sort of humanity to them, that were just like ripping diapers off and causing the IVs to rip out and leave me laying there 12 hours once without any care at all. And actually, I got angry with them, and because I got angry with them, because my families, a lot of them are medical people, and my aunts and uncles, and
You know it's supposed to be
yeah, I
going
know.
on.
I was raised in people that work in the ER, and my son is married to a helicopter nurse, and I mean, it's just, I know you don't treat people that way, and I'd see him treating the other people around, and I was like, I'm a very educated woman. And
I think they stereotyped you a little
they
bit.
stereotyped me from tattoos, and I've heard this also as well. The doctors didn't, because the doctors know I'm college educated. I have 2 master's degrees. We talked about the murals. They saw what I do with kids. They cared to listen. The nurses just stereotyped me. I mean, they didn't realize, oh, this tattoo may come from another country I worked in. Or they all mean something. And so they stereotyped me, and they immediately thought I
And
was
treated you accordingly.
yeah, they thought I was a heavy marijuana smoker, and they refused to give me pain medications when my body was torn up, and
So they just thought you were going there for kind of,
yeah,
I just want drugs.
yeah, without even looking at the x-rays, and that's why I was hoping we could show some of the x-rays that show what a mess I was in.
Oh, no, we will.
Yeah, and so, my doctor friend in Ciudad Quesada, he knew how bad it was, and he knew how much pain I was. We were friends, and so he put me on very small, with the other normal analgesic, he put me on very small amounts of morphine. And the minute that he did that, he didn't realize, because they had to supposedly keep me on that medicine the whole time, he didn't realize that when I got to the city hospital, they were going to stereotype me as a drug addict because I was allowed to have opiates.
Morphine.
Yeah, so that was a complete accident on his part, because he was just trying to keep me from that screaming. You were there when I was screaming.
Oh, believe me, we're
Yeah.
showing the videos.
Yeah.
And
So he was trying to help me, and so when I got up there and I had a tattoo, and I had to because I couldn't walk. My friend came and gave me a shower before I went to the hospital, and she dressed me in the most loose clothes, like this kind of stuff. So I come in looking like an old hippie off the street, and they don't ever. I mean, whether I do or
You
not.
look like a hippie?
Yeah, well, whether I am or not, I still have 2 master's degrees, and I was a professor as well.
But again,
Yeah.
they stereotype
They
you,
stereotype
okay.
me horrible, and were terrible to me.
Now this is, I think people are interested in this as well. You're kind of like us. I think you don't have a whole lot of money. Were you worried that you were even going to be able to get surgery here in Costa Rica?
Well, at first when I was on Florida, when I realized it was bad, when a couple of my friends came over and had to talk to me, and that night I tried to walk, I realized it was bad, and then when he told me how bad it was, then I was mad. I was just like, just wheel me out. I just said, I didn't want to go, but so yeah, I was
No, you
frustrated.
can be more honest about that.
Yeah,
Can you redo that, because I actually know what you kind of said, and I think you should be more honest about
Yeah, I
that.
just told him to wheel me on the road and let a truck hit me, because I was in so much pain as it was, and I just didn't want to go through any more of the excruciating pain. I was jabbed up and folded over, and I mean, the thing is, they can't give you in this country, they can't give you painkillers until they take the x-ray, and when your body is crumpled like that, to lay down on the x-ray table and to move bones into your stomach and stuff, I mean, this stuff was pretty intense.
Yeah, but as expats, I got to tell you, the scuttlebutt, we're all talking when
Yeah.
we're doing this. We're like, is she going to get the surgery? Are they going to ship her out? Are they going to...
They couldn't ship me out. They couldn't put me on the airplane. It's 2 days. There's too much blood. When a hip bone and a pelvis shatter, when that kind of happens, I didn't know this, but there's too much blood, and that blood.
So it's an emergency, and they're obligated,
They're
and they have to
yeah,
operate.
Yes, but they let me know from the beginning I was going to pay for it, and then the doctor, the surgeon, the first surgeon that put the implant in. we were talking. She goes, "Man, I would be happy just to trade you for meals with the kids and stuff here, or whatever. Something to think about. Let's talk to the embassy. Let's move forward with this thing because it's about $14,000 after all, anyway." And the reason it went so much was this one, because it was public system, is because the one popped out because they sent me home from one hospital because there was no beds. They sent me home in your car. I was in your car, and it popped out. They never told me how to set. They never told me I couldn't walk. They had me up walking that day, giving me a shower, and they gave me no physical therapy instructions, and I had no internet. I had no way of understanding what was wrong with me.
Which is another point. Sue's kind of is more like me than maybe D'Angelo. Her Spanish is about as, we're not going to get real far understanding a whole lot of Spanish, nor can we tell people a whole lot. We might be able to generalize. We can say mucho duele.
Yeah, exactly.
Aquí.
See, exactly.
But to talk about that whole communication issue, because you were on your own. You're trying to communicate. How'd that all go?
There was one. Well, in the Ciudad Quesada, there were 3 or 4 people. And it's really, because that's the smaller hospital, there were 3 or 4 people on staff that spoke English. The Dr. Roberto that I hang out with sometimes, and and one of the nurses, Diana, she spoke English. And the guy that looks like Orlando Bloom, he was fun. And they spoke a little English.
That's another video, Sue.
That was a plus, though, to have orderly that looked like that. I know that's sexist or whatever.
That's another video.
Yeah,
Sue.
I know. That was diversion. It was diversion from the pain. But yeah, the people that understood me, that would take the time, and because I have Spanglish, and so people that speak a little English and a little Spanish, I can communicate with them, and I have been doing that for years. And even the people that understand me and know me and have learned how I put my words together as a Spanish speaker, they understand it.
I've heard your Spanish. It's kind of like Fun with Dick and Jane.
Yeah, it is.
See, Dick,
right.
run.
Yeah, exactly. See Susie, bitch, Susie, bitch.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, so was it the same in San Jose Hospital?
There was 2 women there. I was in so much pain. I'd already been in one ride there. They'd flipped me around so many times, but luckily that ride I was given painkillers in the ambulance. But the next morning they wouldn't give me my medicine because it was prescribed as he had prescribed me morphine, the doctor, and they weren't going to give it to me. So they wouldn't give me anything, nothing, because they said, "Oh, we can't get to the pharmacy and it's under lock and key." And so it took them about 12 hours. In the meantime, I've got 4 guys jumping on me with sponges, giving me baths and stuff that hadn't
flipping you around like a rag doll.
I hadn't even seen the X-rays. And I was screaming in horrible pain. And then they came over to me and said, "Well, obviously the aspirin's not working, or the Tramal's not working, or whatever that we gave you. Are you a drug addict?" And that was very offensive. So on top of being in pain, but I have since heard from another teacher this exact same story, that she took her son, her artist son that fell off scaffolding, in there. She took him in there, and he had tattoos, and they would not medicate him until after the X-rays.
So the professionalism at the Hospital Mexico wasn't the best.
It was horrible. Yeah.
Their bedside manner also not good.
was, and then the head nurse got mad at me that night because I was angry because I had blood all over the place, and she got mad. It was the same night I had surgery. I was in so much pain, and the meds whatever they were giving me was not working. And she said, "You're leaving." She goes, "This is my house. These beds are reserved. As far as what I understand, this is my house. You're in my house. We're sending you back to your house. We're sending you to La Fortuna." And I said, "We don't have a clinic in La Fortuna." She said, "That's too bad. We're putting you on an ambulance anyway."
Which they did.
Yeah, they called an ambulance. The guy threw my luggage or my bag onto my leg. One of the nurses, they were like laughing, and when they pushed me down and to the hall, and the Red Cross ambulance driver looked at the X-ray and saw the new implant and everything, and he was like, "Are you not giving her anything for pain? You're not what?" And they just wheeled me out there, and he was just shocked. He was so kind and so considerate. And the minute he got me to see it at Casati, he runs in there and he goes, "We have to give her something. We have to do something for her." And so, it was just, I made the head nurse mad, and I have, under a lot of pain and stress, I have been known to be a sassy person. And
What?
Yeah. And,
what?
Yeah, and I was also, there was one woman that was paraplegic and they were missing a leg, and she was very maybe operating off of like a 4 or 5 year level, but she's about 70 years old, and they were mean to her too, and laughing at her, and that really hurt my feelings because I worked with so many special needs people in my life, and as a teacher, and I've seen that this woman was sitting there in the hospital, and there was no one there with her, and then I also kind of related to that because I was in so much pain.
And they were treating you the same.
Yeah, they were.
So what have we learned? We've learned that if you have the money and
if you have the money,
if cash isn't a problem, you should probably go to SEMA.
Go to SEMA.
Go to the private
SEMA.
hospital.
Yeah, go to SEMA.
The other thing it sounds like we've learned is you need an advocate sitting next with you all the time that speaks fluent English and fluent Spanish.
Right, exactly.
So that's the two things, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're not actually probably not going to be done with Sue because I don't think this story is over. It's over for right now because there's going to definitely be, is she going to be able to leave the country without paying the bill? We're not totally sure yet. Is the embassy going to get involved? Is she going to work out something with the hospitals? So this saga's not over.
Right, and the thing that I have, the thing I have in my favor is I'm only 2 points short off of getting my residency, which would have given me the insurance because of the volunteer work that I've done here. But most people have to have money in the bank or a pension.
Okay, so residency here, just so you guys know, once you have residency here, you do start paying into the CAHA, which is the socialized medicine
$40 a month,
and you do have insurance there.
Right.
So, but right now, like myself as well, we don't have residency. Yeah. And it's kind of scary. And I think you gave a wake-up call to a lot of us, actually, about either...
Well, I'm glad I can help you guys.
Anyway, we're going to talk to Sue again. She's going to rest here for another 8 days in the V formation. Mm-hmm. Thanks for talking.
Okay. And I want to thank these guys for being my saviors through this. Anytime that you want to go on a tour, go with these guys. They're great. And they have beautiful houses with good art in them.
Yes.
And they're going to have better art after this.
Guys, here's the deal. It's a scary situation. Wake-up call for all of us. You're living in another country, and especially if you don't have insurance or access to a whole lot of money. It's a very scary situation to be in a hospital with a broken hip.
I want to tell you how scary I think this is I'm thinking about using my master's degrees and going back and becoming a teacher or a professor again.
To get your insurance.
To get insurance, to get Obamacare, so that I don't have to go through this again. Because you just don't think.
You're not going to be able to get Obamacare when Trump becomes president.
Oh, wow.
So sorry about
Trump
that.
Care.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Trump Care. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps.